Come on, people. Join in. Oh, almost deleted the live stream. That would have been bad. How's it going, peeps? Come on, people, join. For those of you guys who are joining right now, go ahead and tell everyone that we're live streaming some more and people can join. We'll get this thing off and going here in a minute. In the meantime, how's everyone's day going? I've seen on Twitter, everyone seems to be a little bit divided on the TJ Lang cut, which I seen that one coming. Just couldn't stay healthy. Love the guy as a player, though. He will be missed. Just offensive lineman's a tough position, man. You're constantly getting banged up for the whole game. Those guys aren't any little guys like running backs or anything. Those are out there like 6'5", 6'6", some of them even 6'7", just 300 pounds coming at you. These guys can run 40s. And what TJ play, like 11, 12 seasons, somewhere around that ballpark? That's a lot of pounding just from getting hit. So safety comes first for these guys. Just you hate to see someone who was really good get hurt like that so often, but concussions aren't any jokes. How's it going, Richard Foster? Doing pretty good. So I'm still kind of new to the whole live streaming thing. I don't really do this a whole bunch. So let's just take me a second to get everything set up the way I want it. But we'll be going here in a sec. Onto the Pistons real quick while I'm just dorking around. Underachiever that's not really getting a whole lot of recognition right now is Glenn Robinson. He's done a very solid job coming in off the bench and just fitting. Not doing too much, but certainly doing a good job. Yeah, I agree, but you got to think about it like this. So, Chicago is kind of a weird team. The record says that they're bad.
So a solo shot here to left center field is second of the game.
In a couple years,
that'll
really
pull them even at 4 apiece.
They got some nice building blocks and Larry Marketing and Zach LaVine. So I wasn't shocked the Pistons were down that many.
Well, there's an old saying that the harder you throw, the farther it goes.
Chicago is. Chicago's always been a tough place to go and play.
In this ball
but
is
no matter who you play, rather Chicago, the
later.
Warriors, the Knicks, whoever. If you're down 21 points and you come back, that just shows that
digging
you're
in once again.
Mentally tough.
He's already got 4 RBIs in this one.
I'm not really
sweating. This guy's having a pretty good week so far in one game. His last at bat, his second home run of the game.
Still a good job from the comeback. But yeah, they got to play better from the jump. I think they underestimated Chicago a little bit.
May has it in his tracks. And
but maybe that was a wake-up call. Maybe that will get them to realize how close they were to losing that game, and that if they didn't focus right away that they were going to lose.
Franklin Barreto has come into the ball game now as he takes over as the new third baseman. Digging in at the plate is Travis Jankowski. He'll get things started now in the bottom of inning number 8.
Still a lot of game left. What?
Ready
18,
to deliver.
19
Here's
games
the first
left,
pitch.
somewhere around that ballpark.
So turned on,
there's
but
still
it's
a lot of games to be played.
As we near the end of this one, it's clear the long ball has played a big role in today's outcome. Dan, D-Row, what are your final thoughts on what we've seen?
1-1-1. Yeah, just non-competitive pitches in some big situations, Dan, and the offense took full advantage.
You know, D-Row, one of the things about pitching is you want to have location. And it was obvious in this one today that the pitchers weren't on point, and what happens when that happens?
So they'll probably be a little bit more
pay, and the long ball was a big part of this one here.
Slowly to first. He's got to hurry, and he'll step on first himself.
I can't turn any game volume down. I don't know how to do that. I don't see any options. I can't even hear it through the headset I'm wearing.
Coming to the plate now, Greg Bird, who could really use a knock here. 0 for 3 in the game so far. Infield shifted well to the right. Here's the first pitch. 4-1.
Well, count now 1-0 with a real good slugger up at the plate. This is the time as a pitcher you have to really make some good pitches. This is not the time to just groove one right down the middle.
Into the corner and slicing foul. And they'll go off speed here as this pitch misses. It's 2-1. On the ground to the right. Castro has it. And he'll reach first as they can't make the play on him.
Hey, that's great hustle right there out of the box. Not everybody's getting it right out of the chute from step one, but I have to ask you, Dan, how frustrating executing a pitch and there's an infield knock.
It is, D-Roy, and you can read that right off the bat as a pitcher. You can read the angle. You know that ball is going to be hit on the ground, and you're thinking deep down inside, okay, there's a quick out, and it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, everything
stepping into the box, Austin Slater.
That's how I started actually
3 at-bats to this point.
Coming into Detroit videos, is I watched him and that's something I could do, you know. Our opinions are very similar.
Here's the 0-0 pitch.
He's one of the few YouTubers who actually knows
in front of the catcher.
Football and basketball. And it feels like a lot of these guys
check on that go-ahead run at first.
And
he'll dive back in safely.
There's a few good ones out there.
Here it comes, 1-0.
It seems like they're a dying breed.
And wow, a very high strike, but a strike nonetheless, and it's 1-1.
What are you doing play-by-play? Oh. What the hell did you guys make me do? You got the camera.
A one-run finish today, 5-4, the final score. The Fish came through when it mattered.
I feel like a lot of people jumped ship off from the Pistons when we went through that slump. They didn't really have any faith in the team, and now that they're winning, they're all starting to come back, which I don't play that. I said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. The Detroit Pistons are not the Detroit Lions. They are a franchise that has won multiple championships in several eras, different eras. The game changed, they adjusted, and they won championship. The Lions have not won that. So when people lose faith in the Lions, the Lions have proven to people that they can't win a championship. The Pistons are different. The Pistons knows what it takes to make a team competitive and to get over the hump. You have to have faith. A lot of people lost their faith. I'm not sweating it. If they're here, they're here. If they're not, they're not. I can't make everyone happy. I'm not going to. So, I ain't worried about it. It did kind of get under my skin a little bit. Just everybody on YouTube and Twitter was dogging the Pistons. Everybody. Which
on a balmy summer night in the Rocky Mountains, the show comes to you from Coors Field in downtown Denver. Tonight, the first of this three-game weekend series between the Miami Marlins and the Colorado Rockies. Going to be an interesting contrast in styles in this one. It's one of baseball's hardest throwers, goes head-to-head with a top finesse arm. Next, Tyler Anderson gets the start for Colorado in this one. What do you have for us on him, Benny?
Hey, we look a lot at numbers from starting pitchers, walks to innings pitched, but one of the key stats I look for is whip. He has a sub 1.30 whip coming into this start, which tells me he throws strikes. He's not afraid to get the ball in the strike zone. It'll be interesting to see if he can string together some real quality innings in this one.
I feel like they were motivated to do good for Coach Casey just because.
Show you what he did in May versus what he's done so far at the plate in June.
You know, you just overachieved. Reggie still wasn't 100%. So they started to fall off because they just weren't ready for it yet.
Yeah, that's a fair ball, line to the right side.
After time, chemistry grows.
Story rounds third.
People know where people are supposed to be. He makes some adjustments
and trades. And he is in there at the plate. It's now a 2-0 game.
And that triple could not have come at a better time. The team has really struggled the last few games trying to get over the hump, and they're looking for anything good to happen to them.
No one on the team was playing well.
Definitely
Blake Griffin was really the only person consistently playing well.
Leading off the inning, Ozzie Osbourne.
But I think everyone dogged him. Drummond
not
making the All-Star game.
First pitch of the at-bat on its way.
Hurt, comes back, and he's got this fire under him, and he's been a beast ever since. What the hell
kind of pitch was that? And now the first pitch of the inning is sent in the air out to straightaway center.
Just a mixture of things.
Therefore, it is Blackman, and he's got it for the first out.
This team does well under adversity when everyone's talking bad about them. It's going to be when everyone's back on board 100%.
They're in the top 5 fewest errors in the league.
I think they'll start to crumble a little bit more, but this team looks to be firing on all cylinders.
They'll look to get something going here and even this game up.
Things not looking very good so far in this one, but we're still in the middle innings. They're down by a couple of runs, and this would be the right place and the right time to get something going. The last thing they want to do is to try to come from behind and win this one in the 8th or 9th inning.
Well, now that we're midway through this one, it's safe to say that runs have been at a premium, and both starters doing it in different ways have turned in excellent performances.
So far, that's just been Snacks and
Dan, you can speak to this. Obviously, 2 different ways to skin a cat. One's a finesse guy working all 4 quadrants, keeping guys off balance. The other, a flamethrower coming
right
at you.
Yeah, it's been a story of like two different styles of pitchers, but both getting the same thing, both throwing strikes early, keeping the ball down in the zone. As you touched on it, there's more than one way to get around through a lineup, and we've seen one guy with power and one guy do it with more skill and finesse.
Tagging period's over, so unless they sign him to a contract, he will not be here next season, which I do not have a problem with.
Ozzy Osbourne. He got on top of one and was a ground down victim last time.
You can't really do anything about it. I don't know if he's 100% healthy.
No balls and a strike to count. Machado, the runner at first with two gone.
I wish him the best wherever he goes. He was my favorite player on defense for a long period of time. I don't know how much of this
hit on the ground to third.
Man,
so they do get their first hit, but their first run will have to wait as the inning is over. One left for Miami. They're on the short end of a 4-0 score.
Hey, not many pitchers can brag about throwing a one-hit complete game, so hats off for him. But as a pitcher, I know he's going to wonder, like, what might have been. So close to a no-hitter, but it wasn't meant to be. That's baseball for you.
4-0 to score tonight.
I believe I said this before in some of my previous videos. We've messed up trading away young pieces already.
Saturday night baseball set to come your way from the Lodo section of downtown Denver. Tonight, Game 2 of this 3-game weekend series between the Miami Marlins and the Colorado Rockies.
He had a breakout season. I believe if he would have stayed healthy, he could have been
right-hander from the Empire State gets the starting assignment here.
But he would have been.
What's your take on him, Dan?
Hey, this guy's had a real solid season up to this point.
That was
ERA under 3.5, which is saying something in these high-scoring games we see now in the game of baseball.
And he is
this
in
guy
line
knows
to
how to
get
pitch, and if he's on, he knows how to minimize the damage.
So trading away Andre Drummond, who has already proven to be a max caliber player, who's only 25. Okay. People say you don't reach your prime until like 27, 28. So he's like 2 to 3 years away from his prime still.
Calling for it, Hicks.
And you just don't trade people like that. He's already made 2 All-Star teams.
And he'll think better of trying to score as he holds it third with 2 away
he's
now.
Already in the
with
top
that, a look at the batting order for the Marlins. Danny, who stands out to you?
And he's only 25.
I love watching Manny Machado do his thing. He's coming off a
month
where he had
average
double-digit totals
15
in
to
home
16
runs.
rebounds.
If you're looking at one category and you like the long ball, this is the guy to watch.
That's a whole lot of rebounding.
One of the best power threats
his
in
defense,
the game
as he matures, he's going to get better. He's already developing.
So stepping in, Ozzy
only player in the top 10
flew out in his last at bat.
Only player for 4 consecutive seasons who have 100+ blocks and 100+ steals. So I don't know why everyone says he doesn't play defense.
First pitch coming, here it is.
He might not be a elite shot blocker
to
like
left field and deep. Look at this.
You just don't trade pieces away.
Over the bleachers and
the future's bright for the Pistons. Andre's
going
to be good for years to come. And then you got Kyrie Thomas, Bruce Brown,
a solo shot here to left. Home run number 59 on the season. And the Marlins have taken a 2-0 lead.
All these players are going to be part of your team for the future. And all of them look to have a bright future.
Hey, listen, there's an old adage in baseball that solo home runs won't kill you. This is one of the top hitters in that lineup. So a home run, a solo home run right here, it's not the end of the world.
Beast. We will be starting him next season. You can quote me on that one. Only reason we're not starting him right now is just to solidify the depth of the bench. You can take him out.
He comes in 1 for 2 with that home run he hit earlier.
And hey, it was a breaking ball for Boot. This guy's a pretty good off-speed hitter.
Will probably get a lot more playing time.
There's a swing and a drive, and everybody's just going to sit back and watch that one fly. A no doubt.
You're going to see these guys take a big leap in their careers under Coach Casey.
A solo shot here to straightaway right field. His second home run of the game,
not everything's
and
about
it gives the Marlins a 3-1 lead.
You got to build for the future, and the way the Pistons cap was structured, you couldn't make any moves. They've done a nice job getting young pieces in trades. Shaviv for Reggie Bullock. You got Shaviv for 2 more years, Yeah, Thon for 2 more years, at least. They did a very good job making trades for younger pieces for the future and making some more cap room. And again, I don't know if it's this offseason or next offseason. I have to keep looking at it. The Pistons get a lot of money off their books. They'll be able to get some more quality players because the Pistons are only maybe a piece or two away from being super good. Really good. They're already solid right now. When they're healthy and they're consistent, they're a tough team to beat. But just one more piece away, man. And I think this Pistons team can really take off. I don't think the Lions are that far away from being able to take off either. Really, the biggest improvement from the Pistons, besides you take Andre and Reggie Jackson's play out of the equation here, has been the substitutions. Dwayne Casey really seemed to be struggling in the beginning of the season of making the right adjustments per matchups or who was feeling it. And I think playing Luke Kennard more has helped the Pistons, obviously. But I'm starting to see less and less Zaza out there. You're starting to see Thon more, which I figured that would take place after Thon felt a little bit more comfortable. I really like the bench unit that we have out there. Ish is the perfect backup point guard. If he was a little bit bigger, I think he could be a quality starting point guard for anybody in the league. But Luke Kennard and Langston Galloway, they just seem to feed off each other. One gets hot while the other one's cold, and then they switch a lot. Then Langston catches fire. Then you put Glenn Robinson in at power forward, which has really seemed to benefit him. He's not doing anything pretty. He's not letting up the box sheet, but his defense, poking the ball away, and he's been able to get layups and dunks, which is what he's supposed to be doing. So I really like it. Thon's getting blocks and dunks. It really has opened up the bench unit for us, which everyone knows to make a deep playoff push, you need a bench. Which is actually why I think the Warriors might struggle a little bit in the playoffs. Their bench just isn't as deep, which when you add 4 or 5 All-Stars on your team, it shouldn't be. Indiana is still the ideal matchup for the Pistons first round. That should be obviously a no-brainer. Pistons have a chance to win a couple of games no matter who they play, even if they don't make it out of the first round. No one really wants to play the Pistons, honestly. They might not be shaking in their boots like I said in other videos, but they don't want to play the Pistons because that's going to be a tough first round battle no matter who they play. If they fall to the 7th or 8th seed and they're going to have to play Milwaukee or Toronto, it's going to be a gritty game. No matter who they play, the Pistons aren't getting swept. I don't care. I don't care if it's Philly, Boston, Toronto, Milwaukee. They're not getting swept the first round. Only thing that frightens me about the Pistons in the playoffs is inexperience.
Well, you can see how pure his swing is, and that's why he's able to hit an incredible 60 home runs this season. Might as well start engraving his name.
Into the box now, Ozzie Osbourne. He hits here in a spot where he might be able to put this one out of reach.
Yeah, Matt, down 5, another run across here could very well put the nail in the coffin. Mentally, they might still feel like they've got a shot if they can get out of this jam, though.
First pitch of the at-bat on its way. Drilled on the ground to short. Scooped up on the backhand. And he'll go the short way to retire the side. At the plate, Chris Lachlan. 2 away here in the 8th, and time's running out on him, Danny.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of outs left to work with, so it's time for someone to make something happen. They're going to get back into this thing.
I can't really talk in public.
And the inning will continue as that's
even though the Pistons got down.
I'm shocked he got to that pitch right there. In today's
even though the Pistons were down 21,
leg kicks, toe taps, dropping
they
the hands,
didn't lose focus or give up hope.
That high heater usually gets by.
They stayed with it, chipped the lead away. I went down away from the TV for like 5 minutes, came back and they were up. I know it's just kind of
that one up.
That just shows a lot of determination from
as we near the end of this one, it's clear the long ball has played a big role
do what they
in today's outcome. Dan, D-Row, what are your final thoughts on what we've seen?
Not going to be pretty.
Yeah, just non-competitive pitches in some big situations, Dan. And
you got to do what you got to do to win games, man.
You know, D-Row, one of the things about pitching is you want to have location, and it was obvious in this one today that the pitchers weren't on point, and what happens when that happens? Hitters make you pay, and the long ball was a big part of this one here.
Let's see. Detroit Lions fan. You think the Lions will get Landon Collins?
Well, if you would have told him when he woke up this morning
it's very
that he
possible.
was going to hit 3 home runs tonight, he would have thought he was
you
dreaming.
See
well,
Snacks out here recruiting people on Twitter. You even try to recruit Golden Tate.
But it's awfully hard to win in this game.
I wouldn't knock it off.
On the road, but they find a way to get it done. And
I wouldn't count it out.
Happy with this performance.
He would fit perfectly.
7-3.
He'd be a good replacement for Glover Quinn.
And never looked back. Number 34.
Which, what I'm seeing from the Lions is going after people from the New England Patriots and the New York Giants.
I'm Matt Vasgersian. You've been
which is what Patricia and Bob Quinn are familiar with. These 2 organizations. So they're trying to get players from there. Today, though, I've seen the Lions were a top priority to get Barr out of Minnesota, a linebacker. I would absolutely 12,022% love that. Big hitter, smart player. I'd absolutely love it. Plus, we play Minnesota twice a year, and seems like every time you get someone from the NFC North who plays the team that came from the NFC North, they always play extremely well against that team. But yeah, I think we have a very good shot at getting Landon Collins. I wouldn't count out getting I just blocked his name right on my Trey Flowers from the Patriots either. He did a good job under Patricia. Did a great job this season. But like I said, though, the Lions have a lot of money to spend, and I think they're going to spend it on defense. They're going to draft defense. I think they'll get the best young player available on defense with the 8th pick. I don't think they're going to trade it.
In the Rocky Mountains, but we've got baseball from Coors Field in
Denver.
The
Pistons got a lot of money to spend to solidify that defense front, secondary, linebacking core. This is really
baseball.
Patricia's first time, really his first season technically. This is the time he gets his players, his system emulated. You already kind of seen towards the last season.
Yeah, Matt, not a real good performance in his last one. Wasn't able
they really
to
started
get
to buy
out
in
of the
a little
fourth
bit.
inning.
They played a little bit more competitively.
To come away with a no decision.
I actually think that them putting it on Green Bay and Green Bay was just a huge confidence boost, letting them know they don't care what other people say, that they're out here to win games.
RBI lead if he can deliver right here. First pitch coming, here it is.
Scar tissue.
Just a bit jumpy that time.
How do you think
the
Pistons are going to finish?
Fair to say they're not playing their best baseball right now. Losers
the Pistons still play a couple of really good teams. I know they have to go into Golden State and into Portland, and we have to play Portland at home. I know we have to go to OKC, which OKC's been playing extremely well. So there's already a couple games that they're going to lose. But then they have some more easier games along the way. And I believe, without cheating, there's like 18 games left.
So a 3-run
blast
to straightaway left. The
248th
of his career.
They're going to get
the
up
Marlins have taken a
for these games
3-0 lead
against the big names like OKC and Golden State and Portland. I think we'll split with Portland and lose in Portland, win Detroit, that kind of thing.
He's torched them for 4 home runs this series.
Golden State's been struggling. I'm not sure how competitive Golden State's going to play. That's still a couple weeks away. I know we play Toronto, not tomorrow, but next Sunday in Detroit, which they'll be looking for revenge again. So that's going to be another tough game, probably another close one. That would be awesome if we can beat Toronto and sweep them. I know that would make Dwayne Casey happy. And if we play them in the second round of the playoffs, they won't want to play us since we took the whole season series away from them. They might choke in the playoffs again. But numberly, I don't know how many games officially we got left. We'll finish out pretty strong.
Loud contact there, but it's well.
The team's pretty much bought into the concept that they can't afford to lose any more games. That they pretty much took 2 months of basketball off, and that they really have to make up for it.
A swing and a drive to center field. That one's got a chance.
So I think they're pretty motivated, man.
And trouble it is. It's
I don't think they're going to slack off or anything like that. You've seen them slack off a little bit against Chicago, and I think they accounted for their sins. They atoned, and they're back to rocking and rolling. Which they're not going to win all their games. That's virtually impossible.
He seems like he takes advantage.
Can't win them all.
Great example
there. Surely you can't lose them all. Even the Sixers try to lose them all at one point in time.
Into the box, Anthony Santander, 0 for 1 here in the early going. 3-2 pitch. Down the third baseline. Ramirez fields it cleanly. Throw to first in plenty of time, and the side
Detroit
is
sports fan.
Marlins
Lions taking at 8.
For 1. We'll move on to the bottom of inning number 3.
My friend,
Marlins lead this one
is the entire question of the Detroit Lions offseason. And from one draft ranking, prediction, whatever you want to call them, they're all different. Like seriously, I've watched ESPN's, I watched all these guys on Twitter do their draft predictions, and there's not a solidified number 1 pick. It's all over the place. I literally seen one where they think Bosa's going to drop down to 8. Which if that happens, that's going to be a steal. If you get Bosa at 8, that's going to be a steal. If you get Greedy Williams at 8, that would be a steal. So I don't know, man. I really don't know who Arizona's taking. Which that, of course, it sounds stupid, but whoever goes 1, that really determines how the rest of the people are going to draft. Balls.
And he is in there with an RBI triple.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I really don't.
He's got the hardest
it's really the first time I don't have a clue
this is the toughest leg to get, but he stands
if Greedy Williams or Bosa, they drop down to 8, that's just a give me of taking those guys. But again, I don't know if they're going to drop down that far, man.
Santander, the next to bat.
That's just been the question. Everyone knows who they want. But really, the whole question is who's going to be available and the best fit. I do think not the Pistons. Why do I keep saying the Pistons? The Lions will be drafting defense.
And that's a fair ball as this one gets by him at third.
That's just
and the runner scores from third as they extend their lead.
Hey, you tip your hat to the batter.
Man, I have no idea
way to find some green grass out there, but man, that has to frustrate you, Dan. An executed pitch right there.
Sorry.
It does. Anytime you make a good pitch, and off the bat, it certainly didn't look like it was.
Yeah, that's pretty much the whole status of everyone who are Pistons fans. They want to play the Pistons first round. And I'm pretty sure that's who the Nets want to play, and that's who Miami wants to play. If Miami can get in, which I hope Miami gets in. But yeah. Pacers, that's going to be a good series still. Don't just think just because Victor Oladipo's not playing yet, we're just going to go in there and sweep him. We're not going to sweep anybody. Nobody's going to sweep us. Whoever we play is going to be a tough matchup. It's not going to be pretty. It'll be entertaining to watch.
So standing in,
but it's going to be a fist fight no matter who we play. But yeah, I want to play the Pacers first round.
Only a single, and he'll have the cycle. Looking to wiggle out of this, here it is.
It'll really be fun to watch.
This the other way to right. And
Miles Turner,
will not come to pass as the inning is over.
At least 4
Marlins
games.
strand a pair. They're on top 7-2.
To win.
Anytime you can win a game, let alone on the road, you have to feel really good about yourself. It's not easy going into that other team's ball.
He is a Pistons killer, though. Pistons should have a good run in the playoffs, even if they don't make it out of the first round. They're not going to get swept. None of that. It's going to be a tough matchup, whoever they play. No one wants to play them. Someone, the Lions are signing during FA free agency. A lot of the names circling around. I've just been kind of beating around the bush on this one. I'm not sure because the media is really weird. They're all bashing on Patricia and stuff. And I'm not sure around the league how well he's respected right now. So that might be... I seen this on Twitter. We were talking to Allen, a tight end from New England, about coming here. And reportedly he texted a reporter or something and said he's not signing with Detroit, he's going to Miami. So if that was just someone who wasn't really starting for New England, they didn't want to come here, I don't know how much of that's true, but I don't know. The past couple of years, the Lions have actually done a pretty good job of bringing people in. Marvin Jones was probably one of the biggest names. Devon Kennard was a huge one. You got T.J. Lang. It may not have been the best way for him to go out, but you got him to come. You got LeGarrette Blount. You've been able to get some names to try to contribute here. So they'll get somebody. Keep up the good videos. Have a great day. I say we will win 46 games. Also compare this team to the 2002 to 2000 team. Where we got to the second round. I think this team will get. Yeah, this team is awfully very similar to the 04 Pistons before they were the 04 Pistons. And I was kind of contemplating about doing a video comparing Thonmaker to Rasheed Wallace. But I think people were going to take what I was going to say out of context. He is not Rasheed Wallace, okay? Everyone loves Thonmaker. He's been a great player. But the whole connection I was going to make to that was that when we got Rasheed, we were just kind of a middle-of-the-pack team.
From Little Havana,
and I think even when we won the finals, we were only
we've got baseball from Marlins Park. Tonight it's the first of 4 between the Arizona Diamondbacks
with the whole
and the Miami Marlins.
Just a piece to help turn the team
provide
around.
Some big
That's
time
what Rasheed was. He was the guy to help turn the team around.
Coming up.
Let me finish reading your question. The team, where we get to this team, second round this year.
Johnny Sutton gets the ball for Miami in this one. Dan Plezak,
really
what do you got?
Hey, in his last start, he picked up his 9th win of the season. It's always nice to get
I think it's going to be more around Andre.
To do more than to pitch well in this one and
Blake
pick up
is
his
kind of slowed down after the All-Star break. He's just had a whole lot on his shoulders to get this team over the hump to try to get in the playoffs. And I understand, man. When you're someone who constantly is having pressure put on you in the West to make it to the finals with Chris Paul and DeAndre. You didn't really have time to help raise the young guys. You had all this pressure to make it, and you never did. And coming to Detroit, where they had pressure to make the playoffs, and they really weren't, I feel like he was just kind of getting put in the same situation there, where the young players weren't really playing the way they're supposed to be. Andre and Reggie weren't there yet, but hey, you know. Skeets wants to know, is the Pistons making the playoffs? Hell yeah, man. If they don't, I will be extremely disappointed. There would have to be something drastic, an injury or something for the Pistons not to make the playoffs. We had our chance to miss the playoffs, and we blew it. I don't know if that's the right way to word that. But the Pistons will be making the playoffs. They're motivated. I even think if Reggie, and I don't want to wish this, I don't even want to put it in existence. So, but if something happens to someone on this team, I think they're motivated enough where they can get over that hump. If someone major does get hurt, they will lose the first round, obviously. We can't afford to lose anybody, but this team is a lock to make the playoffs.
Now at the plate,
they might not be the 6th seed. They might fall to the 7th or 8th seed. It's still possible, statistically possible for them to get the 5th seed, although I don't see that happening. They'd have to pretty much win out just to catch up with Boston. I think they're like 5 games back from the loss column and 8 games away from the win column. So I don't know if that equals like 6.5. I'm not sure how far they're staying away from Boston.
In now, Ozzy Osbourne.
I think we're pretty safe. That would be my bet.
Ready with the first pitch.
Which is where we were projected from all the major analysts
and he's in front
to start
of a
the season was to make the 6th
that time.
The goal from the Pistons was to have a home court playoff series, which not going to happen.
Toward right center.
So, in the players' eyes, you can kind of see that as a
disappointment. And he'll get there in plenty of time to put this one away. And
it is what it is. You got to take what you can get.
Miami down in order.
Digging.
They're on the short end of a 1-0 score.
Life's a garden, nigga.
Back to the top spot in the Arizona lineup now, and stepping in, Jason Hayward. Trying to send him packing for the second time. Snatched out of midair at first base for round number 2.
That's another good question.
So here's the cleanup hitter for Arizona.
I haven't done my research on who's becoming a free agent yet. You have to wait till people get their contract extension offers.
Yeah, only one run on the board so far for them. They just haven't had consistently good at bats.
But really, what they need is a small forward. They really need another player you can give the ball to and go get a bucket. So it might not even be a starter. Right now, Luke Kennard's kind of filling that role where he's been giving us anywhere from like 15 to 20 points off the bench, which has been absolutely huge. You're going to need that player when you start Luke Kennard.
Coming to the plate now, Ozzy
Osbourne. But really, they're just missing a small forward, which I thought Glenn Robinson was going to be a nice addition to the starting roster.
Fastball, and he swings through it to fall behind.
I know he got a swinging miss right there, but that was a hittable location to a really good hitter. I don't know if he gets those back. If he
man, I'll have to do some research.
Way out in front
during the off season and find out price range for the Pistons. And I usually do it every year. Just so I think the Pistons can sign.
The right fielder's grasp as he ranges over to handle it for the first down.
I know they say sometimes that these things.
And now is Yasiel Puig. Not much in the way of productivity from him so far, but he's got a chance to come through here in a crucial spot.
Yeah, it's time now that he has to put the rest of those bats behind it, because none of that matters if he can clutch up when it really counts.
There's one.
I'm
first as they get the double play to get him out of the inning. Your basic 6, 4, 3 will get him out of danger. We're back to South Florida.
Tom Maker was a huge addition.
So
I think
here's the
he's going to be big
Ozzy
for the future of this team. Just going forward.
First pitch of the at-bat on its way. Takes a look down at the knees for a strike. Fuentes, a 6'1" right-hander, is currently second among National League relievers in All-Star fan voting.
Yeah, and he's been having an excellent season to date, making a push towards that All-Star game. Hey, fans, get out there and vote. This guy sits in second place, but I'm sure he'd like to be named starter. Hey, nice piece of hitting right there to put the winning run on base. I know there's one out in the inning. They got one more to play with that they could potentially be productive with. But this guy's looking to end this right now and put something in his gap.
Who they call him someone else on this team?
Hey, it took them an extra frame to do it, but hey, they're not going to complain as they lock up a nice road victory here in 10 innings.
Close one tonight, 2-1 the final score. Carlo Fuentes wins his 4th game out of the bullpen this year. Joseph Trujillo closes the door for the save, his 13th of the year. So that's a wrap here tonight for Mark DeRosa. Dan Plesac, this is Matt Vasgersian. You've been watching MLB The Show. For more, find us on Twitter at MLB The Show.
Oh, man. You think I'm going to be a psychic like that, man? Let's see here. I think the Pistons have the best future. I would love to say the Lions, because I just want to see the Lions win one. I don't think that's too much to ask.
And as we set the stage for you here, currently 1 out
the Tigers
and 1 on here in the inning.
Wings are both in a rebuild stage. So unless they can turn that around like right now,
Giovanni Rosa
I think they're both going to take time.
Take over on the mound and start the home 7th.
I don't think the Tigers are going to be competitive until after maybe
Ozzy Osbourne will be the first to greet him here as he'll stand in with a runner at first and 1 away.
He should just retire, Tiger. I don't have a problem paying Miggy at all.
First offering on its way.
Miguel
missed. It's 0-1.
Help me refine my love of baseball.
Swing hard in case you hit it. Philosophy of hitting. As a
probably
pitcher,
about
why
7th
not?
or 8th grade.
Better than standing up
I really
there like you've
watching
never held a
Tigers
bat
play
before.
more and more while he was still playing.
The 0-1 delivery.
I really fell in love with the game of baseball just watching Miguel play. So I have absolutely zero problem paying Miguel what he has. I still can't believe the Tigers didn't win a World Series with all the talent that they had.
Bruce Steckenrider has been summoned from the bullpen as he'll do so to start the 8th.
They have some nice pieces.
Yeah, and they know this is going to be a tough stretch on the road.
They're probably
the first game of the series. It's
to be honest with you, I don't watch a whole lot of the
Something to build on for tomorrow.
And this evening's contest comes to a close. 5-3 the final. Arizona jumped out to an early.
But I know that rebuild's going to take a long time.
First opened back in 2012. We're live inside the cavernous Marlins Park in Miami. Tonight it's Game 3 of this 4-game set between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Miami Marlins.
Just because they won 6
games, 2 of the best bats in the business
doesn't mean
go
they're
at
making the playoffs this year. They need to, and they have to. But
leading off the inning, Ozzy Osbourne, and they'll need him to get something going here.
I guess I have to go with the Pistons. That was kind of a long, drug-out answer. But yeah, I got to go with the Pistons. Are probably my favorite to win the next one.
Look, guys, you take a look at this Diamondback squad as they begin.
And that's only
because
the NBA is so crazy, man. Seriously, you can have one team
stretch, including a win last time out.
Yeah, Matty,
what did the Sixers win
anymore? April, May go by.
Like maybe 10 games, and the next season they made the playoffs because they had Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons ready to go. I mean, the NBA is just like that, man. One team can be a title contender just like that. One player says he wants to be traded to that team, and boom, he's traded there, and they're instantly a favorite to win the championship.
Defensively,
Pistons probably the best answer to go with.
Second at bat, Ozzy Osbourne.
Again, I'd absolutely love for the Lions to win just one.
Here's the first pitch to him. No balls and 1 strike. No runs, just 1 hit, and no errors in the game for the Marlins. A swing and a drive to center field. That one's got a chance. Merced racing back on the warning track. He makes the catch. Up next for Arizona, Yasiel Puig, 0 for 2
yeah, man, there's a lot
in this one.
Just a lot of pressure
into the windup. Here comes the 0-1.
I know everyone keeps bringing up Caldwell.
Popped up.
Because he worst season he had was what, 9-7.
Makes the play, 1 away.
Well, that's what you got. That's what you got to compete with, man. And that's not an easy task.
Next to hit will be the pitcher,
Mike
Montgomery. He's 0 for 2 thus far in this one. Attempt here.
Oh, that's good.
Throw not in time at first, so the pitcher tries to give himself up, but instead he gets himself a base hit. Stepping up now, Ketel Marte is looking for hit number 3 here in this at-bat. This is pulled into right. Catch is made here in right, and here comes the runner from third. And the throw in gets away from him. And now the runner will score from third on the errant throw. And he is in there.
I've had a lot of people capture my attention. Like I just said, Miguel Cabrera helped me refine my love of baseball. I really started not to like baseball for a long period of time, but watching him play really helped me rekindle my love for baseball. So he's got to be up there. Brett Favre. I always liked Brett Favre. Peyton Manning, Randy Moss. I was a huge Chad Ochocinco fan.
He flew out in his last at bat.
I had his jersey for a minute.
First pitch of the at bat on its way.
Basketball.
A bouncer. Oh, and that's off the second base.
You can pretty much go with any Piston.
Right there, and the
always been my first team.
So a strange play
my secondary team's been the Mavericks. I always liked Dirt. There was just something about his game that was just so pure and beautiful to me just to watch. Which Tim Duncan, probably another big one.
It is, D-Roy, and you can read that right off the bat.
I was just kind of the guy who, when I played basketball, I was never athletic, and I was always the biggest guy out there. Height-wise, probably weight-wise too, but those guys weren't athletic and they dominated the league. So those guys just really helped me develop my game a little bit. I always liked Shaq. Shaq was just dominant. I love watching players who dominate the league. He was really a man amongst boys out there, so he's got to be up there. But I love everyone on the 04 Pistons. Ben Wallace and Chauncey, probably really up there. Grant Hill, underrated Piston.
Smoke toward the hole.
Bill Lambier was always funny to watch.
And a close play at second, but the throw does beat him, and the side is retired.
Baseball was
one hit, one left. We're through 6 full. Arizona's on top, 9-1.
Basketball, a bunch of people. Basketball is my favorite sport.
Next will be definitely the cleanup hitter, Ozzie
football, I went Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, Randy Moss, Chad Ochocinco.
Here in the inning as they look to wake up the bats.
You gotta give it up to the OGs, Barry Sanders, Megatron,
but you have to give credit to where
Stafford.
The pitching on the other side has been really impressive.
I guess that pretty much leaves hockey. You gotta go Yzerman. You gotta go Dasu. Gotta go Zetterberg.
Lifted in the air to straightaway center. Merced.
But I've been blessed in my lifetime to watch some of the true GOATs play in all the sports.
On paper, this had the makings of a real hard-fought game,
man.
But paper and reality, those are two different things.
That's a tough question. Just my favorite player of all time.
10-1, the final lopsided score.
Mickey's
this
probably been the
game.
most influential.
Arizona get the win on the heels of 4 home runs. Mike Montgomery earns his 6th winning decision in this one. Juan Liriano allowed 7 earned runs to cross the plate in the losing effort. So that'll just about do it. For Mark DeRosa, Dan Plesac, and our entire crew, I'm Matt Vasgersian. This has been a presentation of MLB The Show. For more, don't forget to check out theshownation.com.
It's been fun, though. I like this.
Final line score for the ball game tonight. For the victorious Diamondbacks, 10 runs on 11 hits. No errors. They left 5 men on base. For the Marlins, 1 run on 9 hits. 2 errors. They left 17 runners on base. Time of the ball game, 3 hours and 30 minutes. A reminder that Marlins shuttle buses are available outside Marlins Park.
Will the Lions make the playoffs?
Metro Rail Station.
Oh, man. They have to. I feel like they absolutely have to. Will they? Again, I don't know. It depends on who they draft, who they sign, all that good stuff, but they need to make the playoffs. If they don't, they'll probably have one more year of Matt Patricia before they have to can him. And if they have to fire Matt Patricia, that means Bob Quinn is going to be gone, and everything that you've done has to be reset. So that means, yet again, you've wasted another career in Detroit of Matthew Stafford. You probably have to trade Big Play Slay, Quandre Diggs, and start over. So you don't want any of that, because you have building blocks and pieces to win now. You don't want to rebuild. So the players need to buy in, sacrifice your egos, play the way you need to play to win games. And not only make the playoffs, you need to win the division. The Lions need to be what the Bears were last season. The Bears' defense was insanely good. Mitch Trubisky stepped up and had a far better season than anyone thought he was going to have. They were able to run the ball, but again, their Achilles heel was still their offense. Mitch Trubisky is still not an elite quarterback, which probably in a couple years, if he doesn't improve at all, they will probably make the same mistake Minnesota did. Spend a lot of money on a quarterback who's really not that good and won't make the playoffs.
First delivery to him on the way.
Minnesota won't make the playoffs again this year. Just, I like Kirk Cousins, but he's just not the guy. This was his season to silence all the critics. The best team that he's ever played on. And some of those teams in Washington are very talented, and he still couldn't get it done. Probably one of the best defense he's ever played with. And again, some of those teams in Washington have some pretty good defenses.
Hit it hard, but lined out in his first at-bat.
Green Bay's in a rebuilding stage. I don't think they're turning that around anytime soon. I heard they were interested in Antonio Brown, which might make their offense explosive again. But really, their offense has never been their problem. Really, their problem's been defense. Aaron Rodgers can't stay healthy. He got hurt again against the Lions. So, I mean, really, the NFC North is still wide open. Chicago is still the favorite to win the NFC this year going into it. But, I mean, you guys have to realize, no serious moves have been made yet. We don't know who's been drafted yet. We don't know who's going to go where yet. So you just got to stay patient with that one. There's going to be a whole lot of more details in a couple more weeks here. The draft kicks off April, so we still got a whole another month to go. People are still being signed right now. And trust me, man, once all these things start happening in the place, I will be doing some more videos on the Lions. But there's really not a whole lot to talk about right now. It's all speculations. But yeah, man, to answer your question, Lions absolutely need to make the playoffs. If they don't, this season's a failure, and we're going to have to blow it all up. Which I hope that's not the case.
Stepping up to the plate, Ozzy Osbourne. He's got a
if you guys have any more questions, send them in now. After this game, I'm probably wrapping it up.
back up the middle.
Streaming for an hour strong. That's pretty good.
Play out there, and there are 2 away now. Here's Carlos Correa now, 0 for 3 to this point.
Yeah, not his game so far. He's such a good hitter. We all kind of expected him to pick up 2 or 3 hits most of the time. That's not really how baseball works.
All that fun stuff.
Towards second, and that gets through, so he'll have his first base hit, make him 1 for 4 in the game now. Throw won't get him.
Boy, this guy is off to some kind of series, and he's one of the better road hitters.
Standing in, Yasiel Puig. He flew out in his last at-bat.
I really think that Detroit is really kind of a football town. Like, we've had success in every other sport except for football. I think everyone just kind of wants to see the Lions not only just win one Super Bowl, but just be competitive.
He gets an RBI because of it.
It'd also be fun to see the Red Wings bounce back and dominate for 20-some years again. Beggars can't be choosers. We just need one team.
To second for 1.
Right now,
on to first, it's a double play as their woes 4-0 to score this afternoon.
All right, I'm going to give you guys a couple more minutes here.
The second inning and rode that.
And we're going to be wrapping it up here shortly. I've had fun though. You guys been asking some good questions. I was impressed. Alright, here we go. All things sports. Odds of the Pistons going/making the finals. Not very high. Maybe of making the finals, 5%. Winning the finals, 1%. They're not ready for that yet. Not close enough to making the finals. But yeah, they're not making the finals, man. As much as I want to say that the Pistons, without a shadow of a doubt, could go in there, stomp a mud hole, walk it dry, and walk out NBA champions, it's not happening. I'm not delusional, guys. I'm still a realist. I just spit facts. People can't swallow the truth. It'll probably be Milwaukee and the Warriors. Although I think Milwaukee versus Toronto in the Eastern Conference Finals would be a great matchup. But I'm not counting Boston out yet. I think Boston might be hustling everybody. It's just so weird what's been going on. They really haven't adjusted to everyone coming back yet. I was surprised they didn't move Terry Rozier at the trade deadline. I don't think he's. I think if Kyrie leaves, that they re-sign him. Well, they should, at least. Jason Tatum just hadn't had the same year. He didn't have the same touches. Which, when your best player Kyrie Irving comes back, he's going to take most of those touches, and they just really haven't found a way to adjust to that yet. So they sort of got about the same amount of games the Pistons do to figure everything out. Which there's the 5th seed, and it's been, in their eyes, a failure, which is what the Pistons are trying to achieve. When you can get the 5th seed and still be called a failure. So, but yeah, man, the Pistons, come on, man, they're not going to the finals. Like I said, they can beat anybody in the playoffs, but they're not going to beat everybody. Especially
not being able to have the majority of home games. They're not ready for that, man. Next year might be a whole different story, but one of your starters hasn't even been to the playoffs, and that's Bruce Brown. He's a rookie. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him starting in the playoffs, because you get the best of everybody in the playoffs. So he's going to be guarding the best players in the playoff. Probably if we play Indiana, he'll be guarding Bogdanovic, if that's how you pronounce it. It's a weird name. And he is going to have a good series against us if we end up playing him. If we play Philly, he's going to have to be on Jimmy Butler, which Jimmy Butler is going to be a pain in the butt. Philly is probably the team that scares me the most, just because of all the weapons they have. Although Joel Embiid's still not healthy yet. I don't know how that's going for him. But if he's not healthy come playoff time, that is an advantage going against Philly. If he's not healthy or if he gets re-injured. Boston's just got a lot of weapons. They'll click. Trust me, they'll play a lot better in the playoffs. Milwaukee, just Giannis is a freak. I know it's his nickname, but man, that guy's a monster. Toronto is going to be tough if they don't choke. But man, it's just going to be a tough time for the Pistons making it to the finals. It's not very likely, man. They might be able to make it to the semifinals. That's probably about the best they're going to be able to get to, just realistically. Again, man, they're still just one piece away from being really good. They're good now. They're competitive now. And they're starting to click, but they're about one or two pieces away from really taking this thing off. And that we might already have that player. We might already have those players. It might be Luke Kennard getting even better than he's playing right now, and it might just be developing Bruce Brown or Kyrie Thomas or Mikhail Luke stepping up and playing minutes, because one of these guys is going to have an opportunity next season once Wayne Ellington leaves. I don't think he's going to re-sign. He is getting up there in age. He'll probably go to a title contender next season, and that will probably be how he rides off into the sunset. But he's doing a good job starting for us, opening the floor up, spacing it out. So can't complain with what he's been doing, but he ain't sticking around for several years. So Luke Kennard will be taking his spot next season, which is going to leave a void that you're going to have to fill next season, which should be Shaviv, just stepping up and playing well. But you got to develop players, which that's what Casey's good at. He's playing. Shaviv and Kyrie are both down in the G League right now, balling up. I've seen Shaviv had a monstrous dunk, and that's going to be good if he can score inside like that. Just space the floor, pump fake, and drive down and dunk on somebody. That's going to be fantastic. But I think Luke Kennard and Dwayne Casey will have a good relationship going into the future. He already seemed to have a chip on Luke Kennard's shoulder. Just Stan Van Gundy was just not the guy to develop players. J Money 255. Do you think Luke Kennard will be a starter after next year? Yeah, man, I do. I think Luke Kennard is the shooting guard of the future. He has the potential to be a top shooting guard in the league for years to come. He might be the second coming of J.J. Redick. He looks to be able to do a little bit more than J.J. Redick. He's kind of sneaky defensively, actually. He's been getting some steals. His playmaking has actually shocked me a lot. Just driving the ball inside, defending it off to Drummond and Blake and stuff like that. It's been really shocking me. And he's so young, new to the system, so I mean he's still learning how to play basketball. It helps that he went to Duke. It's a smart system. So I think he's going to be a good player for years to come. He could be a starter here for a while. I don't know if he'll ever be a max contract kind of a player or what, but he's going to be a solid player. I think him, Bruce Brown, and Kyrie Thomas, and Shaviv will all be good players. You're not going to be able to trade any of these guys. So I don't want to do the same mistakes that we did with Chris Middleton and Spencer Dinwiddie. You don't want to trade these guys, man. Groom them. Which Dwayne Casey and Toronto never really traded that many young players. So I have faith in Casey in the front office. Hey, how's it going, Marcel? I'm doing pretty good, man. What will the series end if we play the Pacers? Like the series score? It'll probably be like a 4-2, 4-3 series. It'll go to 6 or 7 games. No matter if we play the Pacers or whoever we play, it's going to be a longer series. I don't think any game we play is going to be shorter than 5-6 games, so... realistic chances on Landon Collins. I think with Snacks, our chances have gone up drastically. I've been really proud of Snacks. I don't know how serious he's been, but just recruiting people on Twitter has been amazing. So, percentage-wise, I'd say probably about 55%. There's just a lot of players, or not players, but teams out there looking for him. He's only 25 and probably a top 10 safety in this league. So he's going to have a big market out there for him. Huge market for him. But if he comes to Detroit, we might be the blue people eaters and have a strong defense, which I've been preaching for years to have a strong defense. Years. Detroit always has a foundation of being a strong defensive team, and no matter what sport. The Tigers always have power hitting and strong starting pitchers. The Red Wings, they get fancy with the puck and hit people. Pistons, they follow you hard, play great defense, and do all. It's time for the Lions to have an identity on defense, man. He would be a huge building block and a push to help make the Lions great. But yeah, I'd say about 55-60%. That's very high to Landon Collins. Let's see. I'm giving the Pistons a 10% chance to win the championship. Yeah, I mean, again, it's not very realistic. Anything can happen. It's not as crazy as March Madness. March Madness, anybody can win. But yeah, probably 10%. It's pretty realistic. It's not going to happen. But again, never want to say never. Because if I say never and they do, I look like a moron. I'm not trying to look like a moron, guys. I already, man, my voice keeps cracking. But yeah, I already sound dumb enough half the time. I hope the Pistons do make it, though. That'd be awesome. I'm just shooting for the playoffs. Playoffs is already a step up. One baby step at a time, though, guys. MSU or Blue fan? To be honest with you guys, and don't crucify me, I really don't watch a whole lot of college sports. I just never really got into it. I watch them occasionally. I usually go to the MSU versus Michigan games, but growing up in my household, no one really was one way or the other. My dad's actually kind of an MSU fan, but I don't really care. I would say I lean towards more Michigan, just because it seems like everyone in my family is a Michigan State fan. I kind of like rooting against them. But again, I really don't care. If Michigan State does good, I'm happy for them. If Michigan does well, I'm happy for them. They always seem to be in the top 10, so that's cool with me, man. I don't really watch college. Here and there, I pick games to watch. Usually, I don't watch them by myself. Like the Pistons or the Lions are on, I watch every game. College, I have to be at my buddy's house or at the bar watching it. I want the Celtics in the first round. They're just too small. Horford and Baines and Thias are just too small. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Horford does get bullied a lot by Drummond. But actually, Baines and Thias actually seem to give us a little bit more trouble than Horford does. I'm more scared of those two guys than I am of Horford, because I know Horford's only going to score at max 20 points. Those guys are sneaky, especially Thias can score 30 points any given night. And for some reason, for some ungodly reason, Thias always seems to have great games against us. There's something about the Pistons versus the Celtics that brings the best out of each other. And for the last couple of years, the playoffs have been in the playoff race and haven't really got back into it. But the Pistons versus the Celtics would be an extremely entertaining series. We've been saying that for a couple of years. The only problem with that is Kyrie will probably blow up. You got to beat the Celtics 4 times in a week, 2 weeks at max, depending on how they space them out. Because I know they're still trying to work out scheduling for all that. They adjust it all the time, but you got to beat the Celtics 4 times. Not an easy task. Again, that will probably be a 6 or 7 game series. They don't really have anyone to put on Blake. Blake will have a great series against Boston. There's not really too many people in the East that are going to be able to stop Blake. Yeah, Bruce Brown's solid, man, but you have to realize playoff basketball and regular season basketball is like a jog compared to a marathon. It's completely different basketball. Bruce Brown, in time, will be one of the best defenders in the league. He already is probably up there. Kyrie's got experience. Bruce Brown doesn't. I have to give the advantage to Kyrie. I'm not knocking Bruce Brown. I love Bruce Brown. And he will do a feisty job on Kyrie Irving. But in a 6 or 7 game, Kyrie is going to eventually get the upper hand on him. There will probably be the 2 games in Detroit, Bruce Brown shuts him down or forces a clutch turnover on him. But, yeah, I have to give the advantage to Kyrie on that one, man. Not a knock on Bruce. I love Bruce. Bruce Brown in time will be very good. Bruce Brown's actually going to be a big part in our playoff push, since he is probably our best defender now that we traded Stanley Johnson away. He'll actually probably play a lot of minutes. I'm going to show the Celtics as a team are worse when Kyrie plays. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been talking about through the stream when we've been talking about the playoffs. When Kyrie's an ISO player, he needs the ball in his hands to be effective. And when that happens, last year when he was out, they didn't really have anyone. Their 2 best players were out, so they had to play unselfish ball. But since he's back, it's cut people's minutes in half, and that's really the problem. I think what's going on in Boston right now, people want the ball in their hands, they're not getting it, so they hold it longer than what they need to instead of passing it back to Kyrie, and Kyrie kind of returning the favor. The Celtics are going to be alright though, man. Trust me. They're going to turn around the playoffs. They'll be a completely different team. They'll be dangerous. They'll be back to the team like, where's this team been in all season? Trust me. Trust me, man. Lions getting Trey Flowers. I think we're more likely to land Landon Collins than Trey Flowers at this point. But if we can get Landon Collins and Trey Flowers and help build this defensive up, I know Trey Flowers has been on our radar since the beginning of this season. But I'm never going to say never, especially having Patricia. He's familiar with Patricia. Had one of his better seasons under Patricia. The last 2 seasons, Trey Flowers has really balled out, man. He played very, very well. I'd love to have him. Really, the question about him, though, is how much is he worth? Is he really worth a big contract? Or is he just another product from New England? Because a lot of guys who gamble on themselves and leave New England, you look at LeGarrette Blount. Outside of Philly, his career didn't really do anything outside of New England. So I'm not sure if he leaves. Again, though, I love to have him. Try it out. If it can work anywhere, it'll work here. Same format. Scar tissue. Who's going to replace TJ? That's a good question. I haven't given this much thought since we just caught him yesterday. Man. I don't know. Probably just move one of the younger guys or draft another player or whatever. I don't know, man. That is an extremely good question. I'm sorry, hold on, give me a second. I got a Snapchat here. Holy God. When you got hoes, you gotta reply, man. Sorry, hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Booty calls. Hit her with the damn real quick. Sorry. Who's gonna replace TJ? That wasn't really a fair answer. I'm sorry. Again, we have like $30 to $40 million to spend this offseason. So that means we have some money to actually spend on people. It's kind of weird. I know, right? I think we might actually sign an offensive player, guard, to be exact. Because maybe, and here's a fan theory for you. We signed TJ at a lower price. Alright, any more questions? I know that's kind of a bad answer. I don't know who we're replacing TJ with. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared for that one. Yeah, just the problem with streaming after games is everyone in my house sleeps and I have to kind of be quiet. I don't like doing videos when they're sleeping. I have to be quiet. So usually when I do my recaps and everything, I do it on my way to work or while I'm at lunch at work. So it usually takes me a day after to do it, just so I can talk loud enough for you guys to hear me. I've been trying to live stream during games, but I don't know how all that is gonna work from copy strikes. Like I want to do it, but I don't want to be copy striked. I know everything can get copy striked for doing a live stream during the draft or something. I'm not trying to have all that. Yeah, man, I'll try to do some more live streams. I'm still new to it. I can live stream on PlayStation directly to YouTube. But man, it's crazy. All right, man. I think that's a good spot to end. I'm just kind of rambling on at this point, but yeah. All right, thanks you guys for coming out. If you're still watching, Instagram, Twitter, in the description. Check those out. I'll be back Monday morning or afternoon with the recap. I'll be doing both recaps for both the games against Chicago. So be sure to come back for those ones. And I'll see you peeps in the next one. I probably should have my button over this stop broadcasting. But yeah. Okie dokie.